Yeah, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the LT8. This is a Russian Tier 7 light tank, and the map is Himmelsdorf. I'm also working on a mission, which is LT8, get out of our base. For the T-55A, I have to do a base defense of 40 points, and I am going to complete it in this game. So I'm going to pause the game for a second. Basically, to do base defense, the encounter map makes it very, very easy. Because when you play on encounter maps, you often have the enemy team at your base. When you play in a regular game, it just doesn't happen very often. So make sure you have the encounter option turned on for your game settings, because it is possible to turn it off. So sometimes, anytime you have to do base defense or capping the enemy, the encounter battle is going to help greatly. Now, I decided to head straight for covering the base at the beginning of the game, which I almost never do. And I decided that the best way to defend would be from within the rail yard or the rail station. Optionally, you could go to the right of the rail station, but over here you're pretty well protected. Nobody ever runs in through the entrance over here. But on the right side, you can get flanked. On the left side, there's going to be tanks shooting at you. So I decided to sit here. Now, keep in mind, you only have to fire one shot, and I'm doing it apparently with regular rounds.
Enemy armor is damaged.
But using the high explosive rounds will also be very effective. And I think I made a mistake here. I decided to attack the Cromwell. And, you know, he would have been hit anyway. So I believe it was 40 base defense points, which means I have to reduce an enemy by 40 points, or I have to cap for 40 points. So you're going to see what I'm going to do.
Enemy armor is hit.
Right now I'm getting, 2 or 3 at a time.
Penetration.
So I've probably earned around 5 base defense points right now.
Target acquired. Target released. Permission to engage.
That was really nice, 410 damage. So the score is 2-2. You've heard the expression, win the hill, win the game. It's just absolutely not true. I'm pretty sure that the enemy, you can see that they're about to win the hill. They are not going to win this game. Don't listen to people who say win the hill, win the game. It's just absolute nonsense. The better team is going to win the game. It has nothing, and if the better team fights on the hill, they're going to win the hill, You only win by capping or killing enemy tanks. You do not win by taking the hill. So I decided to advance, and the reason why is because my team has taken over the vast majority of the rail line, which is on the west side. So I am safe to move forward. I'm going to move forward onto the cap. And watch the position that I'm going to take. So there's a T-150, and then there's a Type 64. And I was spotted, and I decided to take up this position right here. Now I am pretty much perfectly safe. The score is 8-5. They got the T-150, who's on very low health. The rest of their team is all the way on the east side. They did win the hill. They're not going to win the game. They are going to get capped. You can see that I am the only one on the cap. And I got as close to that building as possible, and I'm a relatively small tank. So even if they did make it to the base, they're not going to be able to hit me. They'd have to have at least 2 tanks to be able to hit me. And now what I'm doing is I'm rotating my tank because I'm anticipating that they'd come in from the north, and I want to make sure my stronger armor is facing on the north. Their light tank died, so now the remaining tanks are still too far away. So now we've got this bulldog that came around, and I'm going to maneuver to avoid the bulldog. And in a few seconds, I'm going to achieve the 40 base capture points that I need. So right now I've got the 40, which means as long as we win the game, I've got my 40 base capture points, and I will complete the mission. They have to kill the M41 Bulldog, and I'm relying on my team to complete that task. It's very risky for me to go out and take a shot on him. So he is dead now, and again, they're too far away to make it to the cap. They do have a light tank and a medium tank. We are at 86 base capture points. They have a light tank, the LT8, who's coming around the corner. All I'm going to do is avoid him. And he was unable to do anything. So we did achieve 100% base capture. Now be aware that just because you get to 100 doesn't mean that the game ends. The enemy team still has a few seconds to get a final shot in. So if you get to 100, stay in your position. If we were at 100 and he did hit somebody, perhaps a second or two later, it would have reduced the cap points and they would have had extended their time. So this is how I completed the mission. The mission was LT8, get out of our base. It was for the T-55A. You might be working on the Stug 4 or the T-28 heavy tank concept. I had to do 40 defense points. Perhaps you had to do less. This is the way I did it. You're going to be more successful on an encounter map. If they were working, let's say for example that enemy tank were working on the mission, that LT8, what he would have had to do was just have one high explosive round, and only one shot that hit me would have reduced me by the 40 points that he needed. He would have been able to do it with one shot, and he would have been able to win the mission likewise. Okay, so that's the game. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.